I believe we do. So I'm going to start with the AFC East. We're going to go from 4-1. I'm going to go from the bottom all the way to the top because, again, I think we all know who's going to be at the top of this division. So to me, it's more intriguing to get who's going to be at the bottom of this division out of the way. So to start in the AFC East, in the basement, at 5-12 will be the team down south, known as the Miami Dolphins.
On this.
So, in my opinion, spoiler alert for later in the show, I think Mike McDaniel will be the first coach fired.
We agree on that.
I think that the Dolphins are a complete mess. I think they are in complete disarray. Tyreek Hill wants out. And I think this will be the last year of the Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa, the whole regime. I think Miami's going to blow it up at the end of this year. I think they are a complete disaster. And I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for what the hell is going on in our hometown city of Cleveland, Ohio, I think this team would be the worst team in the AFC. I think they are in for an absolutely objective failure of a season. Look no further than week 1 when they are actually underdogs against the Indianapolis Colts to have Daniel Jones starting at quarterback.
Yes. I do have a team worse than them in the AFC, but it's not the Browns.
Okay. In third place, maybe a little bit of a surprise for you. At 7-10, I have the New York Jets.
You must have read off my AFC East predictions because I have that same damn record for the Jets.
So, listen, what I see of the Jets, I think Aaron Glenn is going to take elements of what he had with the Lions, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a topsy-turvy year 1, but I don't think, the Lions started off with a terrible roster, especially on defense, where they lost a lot of those games in Dan Campbell's first year. Aaron Glenn has Quinn Williams. He has Quincy Williams. He has Sauce Gardner. They have Garrett Wilson. They have Breece Hall. My only real concern about this prediction is if it's true that Justin Fields really just can't play quarterback in the league and he can't throw anymore, then the Jets may be in the tanker. But I think what you're going to see is maybe a slow start. By the end of the year, they may get an upset against maybe even a Buffalo or somebody, and you're going to see building blocks for year 2 under Aaron Glenn. Whether or not Justin Fields is the franchise or not, I don't know if we're going to have that answer, but that is my pick. Now, in second place, just barely missing the playoffs at 9-8, I have the New England Patriots. I think they are one of the most improved teams this year. I think they have one of the most improved from coach quarterback situations, going from a full year with Drake May now, with Josh McDaniels as his OC, with Mike Vrabel, who is and I'm not even the biggest fan of Vrabel, not as much as most people, but I think he's a huge upgrade over what they had in Gerard Mayo. I absolutely love the pick of Travion Henderson out of Ohio State. He may end up being the best running back in this class. I think they're going to use him a lot. Will Campbell is going to help solidify the offensive line. You have the likes of Carlton Davis, Milton Williams, Robert Spillane, who they brought over via free agency on the defense side of the ball to go on with the pieces they already have. The AFC is so tough with quarterbacks. I flirted with this team being a playoff team for a long time, but I think at the very end, they just unfortunately miss it. And then, no drama. In my opinion, the team that will be, spoiler alert here a little bit, the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills at 14-3.
Again, we agree on the record. What the hell? Are you sure you weren't cheating off my notes?
Who last year, in my opinion, I thought was going to take a step back because they lost Stephon Diggs. They lost Gabe Davis. They moved around a bunch of pieces on defense. And yet, here they were in the AFC Championship game again. And I will say this. I think this is a make it or break year for Buffalo. At some point, if they don't get past Kansas City and make it to the Super Bowl and win it, there's going to be an emotional breakdown. You cannot lose in the playoffs for 6 straight years and at some point, in my opinion, not fall back a little bit. The James Cook being back and him getting paid also helps. I think this Buffalo team is on a mission. I think they destroy the competition in the AFC East. They may wrap up the division before Thanksgiving. That's where I'm at with the AFC East. Again, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots, Bills.
So I agree with you in terms of the order. I have the Dolphins also finishing last at 5-12. Second worst record in the AFC. I just think the Dolphins, they fall apart when most teams are coming together late in the season. You know what's going to happen when they go to play in a cold weather game. And they made a big mistake giving Tua that contract extension because he can't stay healthy. He hasn't shown that he can win when it's time. And I think the Dolphins blow it up. In third place, I have the New York Jets, although I'm going to call them the New Jersey Jets because they don't play in New York, but I have them going 7-10. I think they'll be an okay team, but it's their defense I'm more interested in rather than their offense under Aaron Glenn, because we saw when Detroit was fully healthy how Detroit's defense was flying around, making all kinds of plays. Can he bring that to this Jets defense you mentioned with the likes of Quincy Williams, and some of their other pieces? Can he bring what he did in Detroit to New Jersey? In second place, and capturing the number 6 seed with a record of 11-6.
Whoa.
The New England Patriots. I really like what the Patriots are doing with Mike Vrabel, Drake May, Josh McDaniels, Travion Henderson. Spoiler alert, he's my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
I think he's going to take a lot of the pressure off of Drake May. They're going to be able to establish that play action game with Stephon Diggs. And when you're able to run the heck out of the ball, I mentioned this the other day when we were talking about our college football previews. When you're able to run the ball, that gives your defense time to do what? Rest and recover.
Yep.
And I think that's a lot of what Mike Vrabel's going to want to do. And that's going to power the Patriots to the number 6 seed. I thought about giving them the number 5 seed, but I'm not going to discredit Patrick Mahomes like that.
Okay, that's fair.
And then you and I agree here. Number 1 seed, it's Super Bowl or bust for them this year. I really believe that. 14-3, you have the reigning and defending MVP, number 1 seed. You're facing Lamar Jackson in week 1. It's the Buffalo Bills. It is make or break for them.
Yeah, again, we mostly agree. The only difference we have is that you have the Patriots in the playoffs at 11-6. So I think that is a little bit high as you take a look at our official predictions here. Me and Josh both have the Bills winning the division. Josh again has New England in second place. We both have the Jets and Dolphins in fourth. I am a little bit surprised that we both had the Jets at 7-10. I thought that was a little bit of a swing, but I'm glad you agree with me on it.
Yeah, the Jets were one of the teams I was conflicted about because I could see them going 7-10, but I could also see them going 4-13, honestly.
Agreed. Okay, let's get to the AFC South now. And because I went first in the AFC East, I'm going to let you go first in the AFC South.
Okay, so in fourth place with the worst record in the AFC, because they're led by Indiana Jones, the Indianapolis Colts. I had them making the playoffs last season.
You did.
I really like Shane Steichen as their head coach, but Anthony Richardson, they've seemingly given up on him. And when you're turning to Daniel Jones, that smells of, yeah, we know we're a bad team. Rest in peace to Jim Irsay. I wish this team could give you a better season in your memory, but they're not good. Other than Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce, they really don't have anything. I do like Tyler Warren, the kid they drafted out of Penn State. I thought the Bears were going to scoop him up earlier, but they went with the other tight end. But I just don't know what to make of this team. No. So I'm going with 4-13 for the Colts.
Okay.
Third place, Duval. The Jacksonville Jaguars at 7-10. What is this? What is this? Their third or fourth head coach since they drafted Trevor Lawrence?
It would be their third. Urban, Doug, William Cohen.
Okay, this is their third different head coach trying to get Trevor Lawrence going. And if you're having to bring in 3 different head coaches to try and get Trevor Lawrence going after you've given him a contract extension, I don't know who that says more about, the organization or you. So until Trevor Lawrence shows me that consistency, I can't put the Jaguars any higher than 7-10. I just can't do it. Trevor Lawrence is an unknown for me, which, he was supposed to be the next great one coming out of college because we saw what he did at Clemson. And then he comes into the NFL with the Jaguars, and it just has not worked. I like Brian Thomas, the wide receiver they drafted out of LSU. I like their running backs. I believe they have Travis Etienne
and Bigsby as well now. Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, I like Tank Bigsby, but I just don't think they have enough offensively. And other than Josh Hines-Allen, who do they really have defensively?
I agree.
So I have the Jaguars at 7-10. In second place and going 9-8, just missing the playoffs. You wouldn't know they had the number 1 pick because nobody really talked about it ever. But I have the Tennessee Titans. I think Cam Ward comes in and brings a spark to this team. I like Brian Callahan as their head coach. It's just, again, it's Tennessee's defense. If I remember,
outside of Jeffrey Simmons, who do they have?
Exactly. I was about to ask you if they still had Danico Autry, for God's sakes.
They may. The only thing I know about the Titans defense, Kevin Byard got traded a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But, Tajay Spears, he's not a great running back, but I think with Cam Ward, they're going to use him better. I know they have Calvin Ridley, who's a bit of an older wide receiver. I'd like to see them get some more weapons for Cam Ward. But I think this will be a solid season for Tennessee. And winning the division at 11-6, claiming the number 4 seed, Houston.
Okay.
So with the Texans, it feels like this is just a layup for them. There's nobody really who's going to be a major threat to them. But again, can you trust this offensive line? We saw how many times CJ Stroud got killed. He did not have time to throw. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, they couldn't stay healthy. They go out and draft 2 wide receivers from Iowa State, which I'm fine with. But again, did they do enough to fix their offensive line? Because you know their defense is going to be good under D'Amico, but it's that offensive line. Plus, they're going to be without Joe Mixon for at least the first 4 games of the season. So what's their run game going to look like? So yes, I have questions about them, but because the rest of the AFC South isn't really threatening in any way, it feels like it's the Texans by default.
Okay, this division has turned, it's always been a weird division, but this has turned into the really weird division. Because, as you mentioned, it does sort of feel like the Texans by default. But is there a world where Trevor Lawrence gets back to his own self? Yeah. Is there a world where Cam Ward has a Jaden Daniels last season? Yeah. Is there a world where the Texans offensive line absolutely fails? CJ Stroud? Yes. So my predictions are similar to yours, though they're not exact. In 4th place, with a record of 6-11. I hate to do this, Josh. I wanted to make them higher. I wanted to believe, but I'm going conservative with Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
The reason is, as you mentioned, first of all, I don't trust their receivers at all. It is the cast of misfits. Calvin Ridley, Van Jefferson.
Yep.
You know, they don't have that go-to guy. I don't even know who the tight end is on their roster. So that concerns me. Their offensive line concerns me. I can't name one offensive lineman for them. So that concerns me. I think Cam Ward is going to give this team a spark. Again, it's going to be better than Will Levis. Like, I think you're going to see growth throughout the year, but I don't think he has, say a Bo Nix impact on the Broncos, getting them potentially into the playoffs. It could happen. I just don't see it.
I still can't believe I correctly predicted the Broncos to get into the playoffs last season.
You did. Now in 3rd place, also at 6-11, I have the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
I like their roster more than you do because you forgot to mention one Jonathan Taylor at running back.
Okay. Yes, I did forget to mention him.
How about Quinn Nelson at left guard, one of the best left guards in the league, maybe the best. Michael Pittman. I think Tyler Warren, I don't think he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I think he could potentially have a Brock Bowers-esque year with Indy because they don't have a lot of weapons, as we mentioned. I think Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard are very smart guys. I just think they're handicapped right now, and they don't know what to do. I don't know what to make of this team. I think they have the infrastructure. Now, we saw Daniel Jones make the playoffs with the Giants in 2022. Could he do it all over again with the Colts? I think there's a world where, yes, he can. But am I predicting it? No, I'm not. Defensive side of the ball, right? They still have DeForest Buckner. Kenny Moore is still there. Kwity Paye is still there. You can see the foundation. It's just not there yet. And unless Daniel Jones takes a big leap. Now, again, they've won 8 games in the past with Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew. But I just think the AFC is better now than what it was a couple years ago.
And I do realize that I left out Jonathan Taylor and Quinn Nelson. But with Jonathan Taylor, when you have Daniel Jones as your starting quarterback, I feel like they're going to run the tires off of Jonathan Taylor. Defenses are going to load up and just say, Daniel Jones, you go and beat us, and he's not going to be able to do it.
I agree, but also Daniel Jones is mobile. So I think that will help maybe open up some running lanes for Taylor because you can't stack everything against Taylor because Daniel Jones can run out on the options.
I do understand that, but again, like, yes, they still have DeForest Buckner. I do like their defense, but when you have Daniel Jones as your starter, no.
I will say they would be better off doing what you predict and completely bottoming out and getting a top pick and going for a quarterback. But we'll see if they actually do that. As much as, again, you mentioned about Jim Irsay and his unfortunate passing, we do have to recognize that Irsay, ever since the Andrew Luck retirement, has been an impulsive owner, and they have been going through the likes of Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. They need to find their next guy. I was a believer in Anthony Richardson. I guess I was wrong on that. We'll see what they do at
He'll get
quarterback.
traded to the San Francisco 49ers, and Kyle Shanahan will turn him around.
Okay. In second place, believe it or not, Josh, also with a 6-11 record.
So you're higher on this team than I am.
So, well, I have them all at 6-11. So put them in any order you want is what I'm looking at. I think they're all basically the same team. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
So I have them a little bit better than you because I have them at 7-10, but you have them in second. I have them in third.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically you have the records higher than I do. I'm down on most of the free teams more than you. Listen, this is put up or shut up for Trevor Lawrence. You mentioned it. He's on his third coach. Do you know that? Do you remember the 2023 season, CJ Stroud's rookie year, when they started like 8-3 and Trevor Lawrence had that ankle injury? He's never been the same quarterback since. They have only won 4 games as a franchise since having the number 1 seed. It's a very Tennessee Titans Ryan Tannehill-esque fall. Remember when they were the number 1 seed and then he got hurt and they lost like 7 straight games in the season and then they never recovered?
I still remember when they played the Tennessee Titans on Monday Night Football and the winner won the division.
Yeah, was that a Saturday game at the end of the year?
I think so. Josh Dobbs was the starting quarterback for the Titans.
Yeah. This division's always been weird. Listen, you mentioned it. They have ETN. They have Brian Thomas. We'll see about Travis Hunter. I don't know what to make of him.
Name I forgot to mention. My bad.
He could be the offensive and defensive rookie of the year, or he could be absolutely terrible. I mean, there's really a wide range here for Hunter. It's a wait and see. I like what Liam Cohen's done with Baker Mayfield in Tampa. We'll see if he can resurrect Trevor Lawrence's career. Again, if Trevor Lawrence gets back to that quarterback he was 2 years ago, they are absolutely in AFC South division contention, but I just don't see it.
Okay.
And now, obviously, the winner of this division, as the number 4 seed, I have them winning 1 less game than you do at 10-7. The Houston Texans. And I agree with every point you made. I think they downgraded that offensive line, and their offensive line was already terrible. Now, we'll see if Jaden Higgins or one of these guys from Iowa State they drafted can really pop to give them a number 2 receiver now that Tank Dell is going to be out for the year. They obviously have Nico Collins. Nick Chubb is there to be the backup for Joe Mixon for those first 4 games, but we'll see if Chubb is actually washed or if it was just the Browns offensive line a year ago.
And on top of that, who knows if Joe Mixon's even going to be back after those first 4 games.
Yeah, and like their defense is good. Obviously, Will Anderson, Derek Stingley, Al Shazier. We know the names. We know they're led by D'Amico Ryans. Like this team is good. They should win this division, but if the offensive line really struggles, and if their new offensive coordinator, who I don't know their name off the top of my head, but the guy replacing Bobby Slowick, if Houston does not get back to what they were in 2023, then yes, there is an opportunity for one of the other 3 teams in the division to steal it. I mean, this could be a 9-8, 8-9 winner. I just think we're both a believer in the Texans defense and in CJ Stroud enough that he can win this division.
Yeah. I mean, CJ's the best quarterback in this division, but the bar isn't very high, honestly.
Yeah. So that is the AFC South.